Good evening, boys and girls, and persons of not gender fluid persons or non gendered persons of all ages and all degrees of mental acuity. It's Uncle Dan the Vinyl Man back with another episode of Uncle Dan's Vintage Vinyl. Heard from one of my viewers today who said, Uncle Dan, it would be better for me if you kept it short, which I've heard before. Anyway, said kept it short, keep them down under 5 minutes. And I said, I guess I could do, some things to keep your attention, either things, like videos for old people with short attention spans and dementia, or videos with pictures of scantily clad women on them, them are kind of dirty, them kind of dirty records. Oh, yeah. Or I could do both, and I could do something that has both, short and has scantily clad women. So this evening I've got this for you. It's a woman. Actually, I lied to you. This woman isn't scantily clad. She ain't wearing nothing whatsoever except apparently one of those shower doors. That's all she's wearing, kind of like in that deeply racist movie Gone with the Wind, when Scarlett O'Hara uses the curtain rod. She, for clothing, she seems to be using a shower door for clothing. Anyway, Young Man and a Maid, love songs of many lands, sung by Cynthia Gooding and Theodore Bickel, Bikel. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. And, you'd say, look at them, there are things hanging out. Looks kind of like something from that, from the late 60s or 70s when the hippies had come in and gotten everything all kind of dirty. But in fact, the copy I got has this handy thing in it. Copyright 1956. It also has on the back technical data regarding the recording, which I find very interesting because it's very it tells you what was going on. Recorded using a Telefunken M221 condenser microphone and a Telefunken U47 microphone. If you're into vintage microphones, the Telefunken U47 is considered just one of the best. Then taped, and then it talks about the cutting and how the master was cut. So they were very proud of this. And it is, in fact, a very well-recorded album, I have to say. The recording quality is great. The pressing quality is great. It just, as an album, it sounds good. Let's say Electra EKL 109. Then I read about it, and the artists, Cynthia Gooding and Theodore Bickel, or Bickel, however one pronounces the name, were, they were real musicians and trained musicians, and truly with superb, well-trained voices, and they were backed by very competent musicians. And now, Uncle Dan hates to complain, except Uncle Dan, I'm almost human, and like you humans, I like to complain. People, in fact, love to complain. If you look at YouTube, a lot of what YouTube consists of is people complaining. Now we do see the reaction videos, which I tend to like, where somebody finally runs across something that you'd think everybody would have seen, like Bobby Hatfield singing Unchained Melody. And then people say, "Oh, look at that! That old boy could sing, couldn't he?" Well, and they're happy about that, and I like those. But a lot of YouTube is about people complaining. And so they can feel better about other people. And I'm not above feeling better than other people, except I usually don't. Anyway, here's what I want to say about this. Let's set aside the obvious glories of the cover. I'm reminded of a video that you can find out there of Luciano Pavarotti, the great tenor, singing with duetting with Barry White uh, the great bass baritone pop soul singer. And they're singing Barry White songs, and I can't remember Barry White songs. Barry White songs tend to run together to me because all the time I'm listening to Barry White and I'm thinking, oh man, what a voice! And that Barry White had all the women in the world he ever could want. All he had, you just talk to him and it's like, yes, Barry. Look, and you get that, man was cool. Man was great. Well, Pavarotti had one of the great trained voices out there, right? He was, widely regarded one of the great trained opera singers, classical singers. And I'm guessing that he sings opera a lot better than Barry White sings opera. But when it comes to pop songs, Barry White was, Barry White singing Barry White songs. Barry White, that was real. And Pavarotti, you kind of listen to him and say, Luciano, boy, why don't you leave that to Mr. White? And you just sit down and just appreciate that a while. I've seen, Andy Williams. I think Andy Williams had a great voice. But when he tried to sing, sing. There's one on there. I think he's trying to sing "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right," the fabulous, great Bob Dylan song. And it's just kind of sad, Andy, he just ain't got it, in there. And that's the way I'm sad to say these are great, but you give me these folks, or you give me the Carter family, and those people weren't trained vocalists. The Carter family, I'm gonna go for every time above this because it's just as Hound Dog Taylor said, the thing is real. So anyway, that's my take. Great vocalists, excellent arrangements, excellent recording. Everything's beautifully done. And I'd rather hear something cut on wire on a wire recorder with untrained people out there, because that stuff's just real. These folks, maybe art music would be great. If for example, if I wanted to hear Orff's Carmina Burana, I probably wouldn't want Jimmy Rogers to be trying to handle Carmina Burana. I wouldn't want Charlie Patton to be performing in that. But Charlie Patton going to sing Charlie Patton songs. Ain't nobody going to sing Charlie Patton songs the way Charlie Patton sang Charlie Patton songs. So final reflection. This is also kind of part of what was passing for folk music when Dylan hit the scene. And you'd had people like Woody Guthrie, who was real. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Woody Guthrie was the real thing. Leadbelly, folk artist, was the real thing. But there were a lot out there who were not true folk. I mean, I love Peter, Paul, and Mary, beautiful harmonies. Not true folk music. If you listen to someone instead like Karen Dalton from that era, who was had a true folk voice, it's astonishing, the difference. But yeah, with that said, great cover, worth that. And here, this is longer than I meant it to be, and I won't say anything about that. Okay, hit like, hit subscribe, send me money, send me records, send me old Garrard turntables. This is Uncle Dan, the Vinyl Man, saying au revoir, and in addition, a bientôt.